Out in the dark, cold space, you could spot a tiny spaceship which held the relationship of two close relatives, Grandpa Rick and young Morty. They're on one of their daily sci-fi missions looking for Galaxian crystals on planet Dorian 3. Once their feet touched the ground, Morty stated how creepy the planet was, as there was nothing but ugly, gruesome-looking creatures roaming around everywhere. No landscapes, nothing. Just pure gravel beneath their feet and alien monsters. They're harmless, Rick simply retorted as he walked away. Meanwhile, Morty was having a stare-off at the green plump-looking monster, soon enough scurrying behind his grandpa. So a few moments later, they finally come across the field of Galaxian crystals. "Hurry, Morty, grab as many as you can," Rick said as he swooped up a bunch of crystals into his arms. Meanwhile, Morty pointed in front of him. Rick?" It had been the same monster from before, only this time, a horde of them. So they began to run for miles and miles and miles. And eventually, Morty questioned on why they just couldn't use the portal gun to portal back home. "Good idea, Morty." So he pulls out his portal gun, hopping through the interdimensional portal. Thank God that's over, right, Morty? With no response heard, Rick turns around to see his grandson missing. And well, where else could he be? So he portals back to Dorian 3 to see nothing but shredded clothing and a puddle of blood. Rick dropped down to his knees. He was devastated. He went silent from the shock that had hit him. He'd lost his Morty, his one and only grandson. So a few moments later, after getting situated, he portals to another dimension, stealing another Morty. One Morty that was similar to his own, so he could fill the gap in his soul. He would do everything he could to protect this Morty. A year later, there they were, currently held captive by an alternative version of themselves, Evil Rick and henchman Morty who wore an eye patch. Just as Evil Rick was about to dissect Rick, a flock of Mortys come through the door, beating Evil Rick up to a pulp. After that, they untie Rick from the table he was strapped down to, and well, that was that. Morty questioned on where all these other Mortys had come from and where they would go, and Rick simply just told him the Citadel of Ricks would take care of him. So a few moments later, the Citadel of Ricks show up, cargoing the hundreds and thousands of Morty onto the ship, and there you could see Evil Morty, slowly taking his eye patch off, glaring at Rick and the alternative version of himself laughing together. So it was true. He'd been replaced, and now he was out for revenge.